Hello, my name's Roisin and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another reading vlog. A little bit of a chaotic one, but fingers crossed it will all pull together and I will actually finish reading these books in time. Who knows? So I read a lot of library books, and a lot of the library books that I'm interested in are new released historical fiction, but I've not been very good at reading them all until this year. So I have decided today that I'm going to start a reading vlog reading entirely 2021 released historical fiction. So these are the four I've got. We have Cathedral by Ben Hopkins, which is a book about the building of a cathedral in 13th century Germany. Not within my comfort zone, but still one that I'm excited for. It's been really well reviewed and I am looking forward to reading some outside of my comfort zone historical fiction. Then more within my comfort zone, we have Crow Court by Charman, which is about a murder in 1840 in Wimborne Minster in Dorset after a choir boy drowns himself and man nobody likes murders is murdered. So yeah, intrigued by that. Also love the cover, love the colours of this cover. Then I have a bit of a creepy gothic murder horror book about a woman who is ill and is a silhouette artist in the time of photography, so a little later on, I don't know, it doesn't say, but it's still Victorian, about a woman whose people who have sat for her silhouette portraits keep coming up dead, and she's determined to find out what's going on. And I know that people love Laura Purcell for kind of modern gothic. And then finally this one, of Women and Salt, which is the least like historical fiction out of all of the books that I'm reading. This is set in Cuba, and we have the Cuban Revolution in the 1860s, and then Cuba in the 1960s with another revolution, and then modern day Miami. And we follow many different generations of women and the secret they hold and the ways they can survive. Then I've also just been accepted for the audiobook of the new Lauren Groff book, Matrix, which is another piece of historical fiction that came out actually 2 days ago, on the 7th of September. So it's already out, but I guess the audiobook, they have so few audiobooks on NetLoan, which I think they need to work on because I love an audiobook. And this one is about 17-year-old Marie, who is thrown to the dogs one winter morning, expelled from the royal court to become the prioress of an abbey. Yet she deeply misses her secret lover Cecily and Queen Eleanor. So another medieval one. I know that 5 books in a week is definitely a stretch for me, particularly considering the chunky size of this one. But they are all books that I'm really excited for. I love historical fiction, so fingers crossed I will manage it. I have already started this one. So far I'm loving it. It's reminding me a little of Hilary Mantel, but that might just be because one of the perspectives is written really in third person present tense, which is how Wolf Hall is written as well, so that might be the reason. But yeah, I think the writing is actually beautiful. So I'm only like 5% of the way through, but I'll get back to you when I've read some more of those. My phone's about to die, that is why I'm speaking so fast. I apologise. I'll see you later. Hello, so I know I said I'd get back to you when I'd read some more, and I haven't read any more, but I thought I would talk to you a bit about my medication. I've definitely talked about this on a video before, a couple of videos I think, but basically I have a chronic illness, I have psoriatic arthritis, and so I take this every other week. I'm supposed to inject myself with this. However, recently, because of a mix-up between my hospital, my GP and the delivery company, I have missed 2 injections of this. In fact, if I didn't have this one today it would be 3, so like it's been 6 weeks basically where I've had no medication. So I've been feeling fairly unwell for the past 6 weeks, particularly the past 2 weeks. It's really caught up with me. But as you can see, I have it back with me now. So I'm going to inject myself with this now. I have to, so it's, if you've ever seen like an insulin pen, it's kind of a similar deal where you've got this, it's full of liquid. There is a bubble, there it is, bubble. And this lives in the fridge, and then I have to defridge it in order to use it. I have to use it in either my stomach or my thighs, and it is, despite the fact that I've been doing this for 18 months, over 18 months, it's 19 months, no, 21 months. Despite the fact that I've been doing this for 21 months, I still find it mentally really difficult to actually inject myself. Easier in my thigh than my stomach, but it hurts more in my thigh than my stomach, so there is a trade-off there. But yeah, I just thought, I haven't talked about this for a while in any of my vlogs, and I'm trying to vlog more of my life as well as just the reading, because often I just talk about the books and I don't talk about what I'm getting up to. And what I like about other people's vlogs is like the combination. So this is what I'm getting up to right now. I am about to inject myself with a immunosuppressant. So yeah, I just thought I would let you know. I'm not going to show you. I know a lot of people are needle phobic. You can't actually see anything here. So I'm not going to show you actually doing the injection or anything like that. Yeah, it is, especially since I haven't done it for 6 weeks, I am starting to feel quite nervous about doing it, even though I know it's just pinch and I don't have any trouble with vaccines or giving blood. It's just something about doing it to yourself. There's some sort of mental block there. Despite the number of times that I've done it, I still freak out. So I thought maybe that would be interesting to some of you. So I'm going to try and do that now, and I will get back to you maybe when I've actually done some reading. Hello, I am hot. No, hello. This morning I have got through a good chunk of Women and Salt, and also of Cathedral. So I'm actually reading stuff now. I'm about this far through, so I've read this much of Women and Salt. So far I'm liking it. The writing style is very readable, which is not an insult, but it's still beautiful, but it's definitely more moving you through the story, through the characters' minds, than it is focusing on the beautiful words, if that makes sense. I'm really enjoying it. No surprises that I enjoy the historical 1860s, I think. I'm terrible with remembering what dates things are. 1866, so I was right. Yeah, I enjoyed that bit more than the 2014 part, which isn't really a surprise, because that's my general preference, is for historical fiction. But yeah, I did enjoy both of them. I think that Gabriel Garcia has done a good job of creating characters that feel very rounded and fleshed out from a small point. There was a lot of violence and like trigger warnings for drug use and domestic abuse and war crimes, but I'm still really enjoying it. I feel like if you like Brit Bennett, you would like this, but it's a bit more lyrical than that. It's just a similar sort of exploring ideas with good writing, but the ideas are more forefront. Like Detransition Baby as well, I feel like they're a similar vibe. Not at all a similar story, but I think I'm getting a similar vibe. This, however, is a completely different vibe. Hang on, let me see how far I am through this. So, I've read about this much of Cathedral, so similar percentage, far more pages. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm really loving it. It hops around multiple different perspectives in 13th century Germany, I believe. Hardenberg, and that's where they're building the cathedral. And it's going through like the stone cutters who are making stuff, the like guy who's getting money, and we've kind of got into the anti-Catholic sect in the 13th century that believe like in two gods, but they call themselves the good Christians. Anyway, so I'm getting like historical context, learning stuff I didn't know, but also the writing in this is incredible. I love it so much. One perspective is told in first person as if he were writing a letter, then the others are told in third person but present tense, kind of like Wolf Hall, as I said earlier. I kind of feel the guy who's telling it in first person is the only guy maybe who can write, and that's why he's given his own voice. That's my theory so far anyway. So I'm enjoying it. I think that it's really rich, really detailed, and so I just love this writing style. This is like my ideal writing style. I love this so much. It's so beautiful and wonderfully written. And like, as I said before, I don't read a lot of medieval historical fiction. It's not, generally speaking, my like era, but this one is just so good, so richly detailed, but doesn't feel like overly enmeshed in, like, it doesn't feel like it's giving you too much, and then it's just giving you all of the research that Ben Hopkins has done. It feels really relevant to the characters. So yeah, I'm really loving this one so far. For now though, I'm going to go on a walk, probably a good long walk, although it is forecast to rain, so taking an umbrella with me. And then this evening is cozy reading night, which I didn't realise, so I think I'm going to try and set aside those 3 hours this evening to focus on reading some books, to focus on like getting through some of these books. I might start another one if that's not too ridiculous, maybe start a third book, we'll see. But first I'm going to go on a walk. Still on my walk, crossing the road. Looks a bit like rain in the sky. Got my brolly with me, just in case. I've strapped it through my backpack. So, I will be alright if it does rain, but fingers crossed it holds off. So was just walking through this field, well, through the little bit of wood that's just back there, and it felt like someone pushed me in my back quite hard, which was quite scary. Turns out it was just my umbrella got caught on something. Scared by my own umbrella. Nice walk though. Hello. So it's 7 o'clock, which means that cozy reading night has officially started. But I thought I would have finished cooking dinner by now, and I haven't. So I'm gonna have to start with my audiobook, which I wasn't planning to do, but I'm listening to Cathedral rather than reading it. So I'm gonna keep listening to that while I cook my mushroom pie. I'm not actually eating this for dinner. It's for my partner's dinner, and then I'll have it for lunch tomorrow. But I need to get on with it because it's, part cooked. Hello, hang on, with that. Let's get some more light, I think. Is it this or is that? Let's get some more light. Right, okay, that's a little bit better. Hello, so my pie is in the oven. I am in my jammies, as you can see, and I am back in my conservatory. A lot of my cozy reading content takes place in this conservatory, because obviously you can see my garden. I've got this chaise thing. It's not actually a chaise, it's a single bed that we're trying to pretend is a chaise. And fairy lights up there. You can kind of see the reflection. Fairy lights. There they are. So it's quite cozy and comfy in here. I will link some of that stuff up in the cards above if you want to go check out any more cozy stuff. But the one thing about a conservatory is that when it is hot, not even that hot, just sunny, it gets boiling in here, like 45, 50 degrees sometimes on hot days, which obviously makes it impossible to use because it's boiling. So I'm glad we're heading back into autumn, because I think that this is the first time I've filmed anything in here for actual months. So I was listening to Cathedral whilst I cooked, but I've not got very far. It's only 7:30 now. It's only been half an hour. So I'm going to start reading Crow Court now, which was my intention to begin with. I'm going to try and get through enough of a chunk of this to get some sort of idea as to how I'm feeling with it at this moment in time, and then I'm going to move on here and I'm going to try and get halfway through this as well, and then we'll see how we go, and maybe I'll end up listening to some more of Cathedral as well, or maybe even get the book since it is just upstairs. Crow Court is one of my most anticipated books of the year, simply because it's being compared to Sarah Perry and Hilary Mantel combined, which I love both of those writers. So and also because I love this cover. I'm going to try and choose between either a reading playlist on Spotify or an ASMR room for reading along to. I'll probably put my headphones in because I can't be bothered to go upstairs and get my speaker, really. That's the main reason. Hello. So I was just getting the pie out of the oven, the pie that I showed you me making earlier, and I only had one oven glove on, so I was grabbing it with just one hand. But it proved to be a little too heavy, and so my other hand, my bare hand, I grabbed the other side of the baking tray that it was on. So I've obviously burnt my hand. Now, you actually can't see anything. I don't know if that's the lighting, but you can't see anything. So I've just been standing for like 10 minutes with my hands under the cold tap. So that's how my evening's going. The pie looks good though, and I had a bit of puffed pastry that had a little bit of sauce on it, and it tastes really good, so I think it's going well. But yeah, burnt my own hand. Very, very smart. Wear 2 oven gloves, or, you know, don't try and grab it with your bare hand. So cozy reading night is over now, but I have done a lot less reading than I intended to because of this. I'll try and show you a close-up of my poor burnt hand. It's quite a lot. But I'm going to keep trying to read as much as possible. Probably end up going back to my audiobook, to be honest, because it's quite hard to read one-handed. I will try my best, but the pain. I'm feeling quite pathetic. I'm supposed to make mashed potatoes to go with the pie. I don't think that's going to happen right now. Also need to hang out the wash. I'm going to have to get my partner to do it when he gets back from work, which I feel a bit bad about because he's been, you know, out for 12 hours. But regardless, it hurts. So, Crow Court. There is it's about a small town, I believe it's a small town of Winbourne Minster in Dorset. And this parish where there's a choir master who's been doing terrible things. And then in the first chapter, a boy turns up dead, and it's believed he's committed suicide because of these terrible things with the choir master. I like the way that it's written. Being from different, first 2 chapters are from 2 different perspectives, and they're written in slightly different styles, in actually quite different styles, which I enjoy. The first one was very much like, almost like stage directions, like very present tense and without prepositions, almost, not completely without, but I don't quite know how to describe what I'm talking about, but it was like stage directions. And then the second one was less like that, bit of a weird creepy thing going on with the crows. So yeah, so far I'm intrigued. Not loving the writing as much as Cathedral. I think that's my favourite writing so far, but it's hard to tell because although I've read a similar amount of all the 3 books that I've started so far, with Cathedral, because it's such a bigger book, that's so many more pages, so there's so much more time with the writing style, even though it's the same proportionally. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I wish I could listen to the audiobook of this one, which is on script. It's just read by a Kiwi actor. I don't know why. Like, he's British Kiwi, but his natural accent is really Kiwi, and I don't know why he hasn't put a British accent on. It's weird. Like, I can understand sometimes, like, I know Milena from Milena Reads, we talked about how she was listening to the audiobook of The Mercies, and it was read by Jessie Buckley. Jessie Buckley was putting on a Norwegian accent when she was reading it, rather than her own natural accent. And I wonder if that's because Jessie Buckley's natural accent is quite a thick Irish accent, and it would like change the tone, so people who are reading it who are English or American would be like, why is it being read in this thick Irish accent? But then asking her to put on a British accent, or like an RP English accent, would be also weird, because like, why are we making it be British when it's not set here but it is, because of Empire and everything, viewed as more neutral. Those are just some thoughts about audiobooks, but if it's set in the UK, a Kiwi accent's a weird one to have, because it's so, like, distinctive. If it was, like, if he sounded like he was from the West Country, Dorset's the West Country, that would be fine. Although some of the characters, like, he does make a clear differentiation between the characters who are working class and talk with Dorset dialect words and people who are middle class and don't use the Dorset dialect words. So, but then, you know, I wouldn't be distracted as much by a Dorset accent as by a Kiwi accent in 1840s Dorset. Just a bit bizarre. But that's enough rambling about audiobooks. I am enjoying the story and the writing. So my boyfriend came home and brought home a burn kit from the kitchen. So this is now what my hand looks like. I think it looks more ridiculous than it needs to for how bad of a burn it actually is. But yeah, I have a little cling film claw.
What have you got for dessert, Jamie?
You didn't bring up to the video.
What have you got for dessert, Jamie?
So, I was going to explain what I was doing today before I went out, but I had to film, edit and upload a video before midday, so I guess I forgot what was going on. And then I went out, my phone hadn't charged overnight, it died, but I basically went to the pub to see my friends from uni, had a very nice time. Beforehand, a few days ago, I was like, I can finish all these books, the 3 that I'm currently reading, before the end of Sunday, because then I can start the other 2 and finish them before Wednesday. Am I any further in them? No, I'm about a quarter of the way through the Crow Court. I'm about a third of the way through Of Women and Salt, and same for the Cathedral. So, looks like that's not going to happen, but it's 6:30. I'm going to watch an episode of An Old Love Island, and then I will read to my heart's content to the end of the day, and we'll see how well we do, because this video needs to go up next Thursday, and I'm working next Thursday, so this needs to be finished by the end of Wednesday. Can you tell I've had 3 glasses of wine? Probably. So, hopefully I'll see you a bit later with some words to say when I've sobered up a little bit. But we'll see. Hello. I just want to let you know I'm in a really weird position right now. I'm kind of crouching. Just removing... I'm sorry, that probably looked really weird. I just had a book that I was kind of kneeling on and I was removing it. God, I'm not even drunk anymore. Right, see, this is why I was crouching, because now I'm just a head in the corner of the screen. Better? Who knows? Sorry, I don't mean to be shouting at you. I've just... Okay, halfway. I'm sorry, I'm halfway through this book. I don't know, my brain's gone. No, I'm halfway through this book now. I don't love it as much as I thought I would, which is disappointing. Also, only 1 chapter so far has been historical, and I think that I've flicked through the rest of it, and they do have dates on them. Pardon me. And only 1 more will be historical. So this really doesn't fit in my reading historical fiction vlog. I thought there'd be more than just 1 chapter, 2 chapters. The rest of it's all contemporary and talking about, like, masculinity and abuse and addiction and immigration. I'm finding it a tiny bit dreary, a little boring. I don't know if it's just because I'm really craving some historical fiction right now and this is not it. It is very contemporary, but it's just not capturing me, and I don't know if that's... Maybe I'm a setting person and I feel that's why I struggle with contemporary fiction, because I feel like it just jumps straight in assuming that you can see the setting yourself. But I don't like world building in fantasy, so I don't know what that is. But I just am not hugely loving this one as much as I thought I would. I'm not ready to DNF it because some aspects of the writing I like. I find the characters are a bit flat. Like, I don't feel like I'm really involved with any of them. They're just feeling a bit... It's like they're all have walls up and they're not letting anyone in, but they're also not letting me in as the reader. It feels like they're hiding from me themselves. And so I'm not really drawn to this book right now. It's kind of boring me. So I'm going to try and finish it. I'm going to try and finish it tonight and we'll see. And then I can move on and read some thrilling Victorian stuff, which I'm more excited about. But right now, I'm finding it hard. I'm finding this book hard work and I don't really like that about it. So I'm going to try and get to halfway on this one and I'll talk to you about that. And then I'll try and finish this one and I'll talk to you about that. Anyway, I'll get back to you later. It's like 8:30. I'll get back to you later. Hello. So it's Monday now. I was at work all day, so I didn't film at work. And I think I look a little worse for wear right now. I have a migraine, so I'm trying to power through. But I'm probably not going to be able to give you a full detailed review of these books because I'm not sure my head will let me. God, I look like I'm in a Tim Burton film. These bags are serious. Anyway, so I just finished Of Women and Salt by Gabrielle Garcia. While I can't give you a full review, I can say I didn't love it. It's very competently written, well written, for the most part. I've been meditating on why this book didn't work for me, and why the 1840s section did, but I didn't even like the 1950s historical section. And I've been thinking that one of the things that I've enjoyed about Crow Court and Cathedral, neither of which I've finished yet, is the vibe. I don't know if it's the setting, and I'm a reader who enjoys a good setting, or if it's the atmosphere, and I need a book with some atmosphere. This book was very much inside characters' heads, and the external was entirely unimportant. It was a very interior look at women's lives, particularly Cuban and Salvadorian American women and their experiences, and kind of the brutality and violence enacted against women, and the brutality and violence of US imperialism and revolutions and the US immigration system. Kind of are all wrapped up in here, although I feel like some of those themes are only very lightly touched on and sort of just glanced at. It's much more about women and endurance, I guess. Well, I know because the ending, which kind of annoyed me because this whole thing had been kind of not going over the top, not saying too much, and then the ending was like, we're going to put a real button on this. And you know how I feel about buttons. I'm not a fan of book buttons. I just don't put buttons on things. Allow me to discover the buttons. I don't know. Sorry, my brain not 100% here today, but let's leave out the buttons. So I'll try and give you a proper review of this later, but yeah, I feel like that much interiority doesn't allow me to inhabit the world, perhaps, and that's why I feel like I miss it. And it's not even like you need huge levels of description in order to evoke a world. I just find being completely inside someone's head for the whole book, or even multiple different people's heads, in a way that feels really selfish. It's not even about the people's relationships. It's these people, everyone whose head we're in, only thinks about themselves. It's entirely a book of selfish people, and I understand that we all think of ourselves as the central character in our lives, because we are, but it can get a bit monotonous and tedious to read. I'm halfway through Crow Court as well, and this one I'm liking much more, although it started off with this very specific thing happening. I think it mentions when a choir master goes missing, but it's kind of moved away from that and moved further into the future, which I was not expecting. And by into the future I still mean the past, but it's travelling more in time than I was expecting. It wasn't solely focused on this one plot. This one also moves through different perspectives, so no perspective has been the same, and so I'm constantly having to work out how these characters are related to each other, but I quite enjoy it. Each chapter is a different perspective and you're kind of moving further away from the core, but yeah, I think it's really well written, and the atmosphere is excellent in this one, and I like the kind of creepy crow motif. I'm quite enjoying that one. I could really imagine this as a BBC miniseries. I think it is, unlike of Women and Salt, there is a lot of world built here. I can really imagine it and envisage the world we're living in. and these people actually interact with one another rather than just thinking about each other or thinking about themselves and how other people see them, which is what Women in Salt felt like. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, halfway through, but I'm excited to keep going and read more of this. Hopefully I will try and finish that one this evening as well, and then I can move on to reading The Shape of Darkness, because I don't know how much more time I have. Might not get through all of that one. But since this is a video about... This angle is terrible, isn't it? But since this is a video about 2021 historical fiction, although not historical fiction, so the one book that I finished doesn't quite count. But I got another book out from the library today, and that is Rose Nicholson by Andrew Greig, or Greig, I think, which is about in 1574 in Scotland, and this I had on my anticipated releases, and then Simon from Footnotes and Tangents on Instagram raved about this, and we have quite similar tastes, so yeah, I'm excited for this, about Queen Mary who fled Scotland but may return with the French army. Her son and heir James is under protection in Stirling Castle. John Knox is dead, his legacy still contested. The people are unmoored amid the uncertain governance of a riven land. It is time for young student Will Fowler, short of stature, low of birth but mighty ambitious, to make his name. So yeah, it's a vivid, passionate and unforgettable novel of the most dramatic period of Scotland's history, told by a character whose rise mirrors the conflicts he narrates, which sounds a lot like Hilary Mantel, Wolf Hall. So yeah, looking forward to getting to this one eventually at some point. I've still got those ones to read, although some of them are for my reading around the world challenge, reading books from Central Asia, which I will be doing on Thursday, so which I will start then, so hopefully that won't take too long. I'm gonna have a bath now and get back to reading, and I'll probably will see you tomorrow after work, because I never film at work. Bye. I'm my bright pink, there we go. Hello, so I haven't really been talking to you very much because of work and because I had a migraine after work yesterday, but I have finished Crow Court, and I really liked it. It really built the time period, the atmosphere was great. It managed to be funny at the same time as being a mystery, and the mystery was really spun out over a long time. It was more about the characters and building the characters. Occasionally I got a little confused because characters would recur sort of as tangential side characters or mentioned in further parts, and I'd be like, wait, who was that again? Because I seem to struggle to remember names of characters, which is definitely a new development. I still enjoyed it, and yeah, I thought the writing was really excellent. This is an Unbound book, which is a really cool publisher, so I'm glad that it was really good. And yeah, I'll probably talk to you about it a bit more when I wrap up. I've also begun The Shape of Darkness by Laura Purcell, and this one seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, it's a fun kind of gothic horror book. Well, not horror, but gothic mystery, kind of. There's been murders, and the writing I like. It's not my favourite style of writing, but it's good enough. Like, there was enough atmosphere, enough scene setting that I like it, but it's not as lyrical or beautiful as I like. So it's kind of more like a fun read, so I'm going to try and read that. I'm not feeling 100% well today, but I'm going out. I'm going to meet my friend, and we're going to co-work in a cafe. So I'm going to start doing some writing, because I've been not writing for ages since lockdown, and I really need to get into it because that was 18 months ago, so I need to get back into writing. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, as you can probably tell, I don't feel great. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, I've not been very good at vlogging today. This morning I was in a rush. I woke up late, but I went out to a town near my town, meet my friend. I might have talked to you about this when I was kind of reviewing Crow Court a little bit earlier this morning, quickly before I left, and we were just gonna co-work together. She's writing a book, I was working on my poetry, so we were just out there together, and I just forgot to film anything, which is not great, but here we are. This is the last day of this vlog. as you can probably tell by the timestamp. For various logistical reasons, I kind of have to finish today. So I'm halfway through The Shape of Darkness by Laura Purcell. I'm enjoying it. It's quite a lot of fun. I don't know if it's turning supernatural or if there's going to be some sort of like real world explanation for it. I'm not sure I 100% like the supernatural bit. Like I'd either like it to be a bit more creepy or not at all. But I guess if I don't know if it's actually really there or not, that makes a difference. So I'm enjoying it, and I think it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't love it yet. I'm going to try and finish this today, and then I will wrap this up properly at the end of this vlog, and then you will hear my full thoughts. But yeah, I do think it's a good fun book, and I'm really glad. Like yesterday it was pouring with rain, I think I've showed you that, and I'm glad I was reading this in autumn, although it probably would be better like next month when it feels even more autumnal, because it's still like 20 degrees Celsius. It's too warm for autumn. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I think that it's really got those really autumnal vibes. It really works like that. So hopefully I like the rest of it, and I will let you know. However, Cathedral, which I'm also halfway through, I don't think I'm going to finish in time for this vlog. I mean, that's too much book, both this and the other one. And also, this book is a large cast of characters in the 13th century in Germany. There's a lot of different threads and a lot of things to keep your brain on, and so I think it deserves to be read a little bit slower. I was listening to the audiobook and I sped it up to 2 times, and I can't manage it. I can't, even though I listen to podcasts faster than that. I don't think this book really works as a book to be read at speed. Or at least for me. So I'm definitely going to try and slow down and just enjoy this and wrap it up properly for you at the end of this month. But I do still love the writing. I really enjoy the way that it's talking about a lot of different parts of 13th century German society. So it's talking about like the church, but obviously they're building a cathedral, but also the merchant classes, also this religious sect that I've forgotten the name of, and the Catholic like persecution of anybody who they didn't like by accusing them to be part of this sect. It also follows Jewish people and some of the people who are working with the Jewish people, and the like the rituals and the life of Jewish people in 12th century Germany, but also the experience, like the suspicion and the libel against them. And it does tell from perspective of women as well. I thought to begin with, when it was just stonemasons and Catholic Church, there wasn't going to be women involved, and I'm always like, women did exist in the 13th century. So yeah, it doesn't do that. There are perspectives of women. We do see various different things from various different perspectives, but that does, again, like I said, make me feel I really need to slow down. The writing is beautiful. I really love this writing. Excellent atmosphere. Very tense. It's told in the present tense, which I have discovered is something I really enjoy from historical fiction. I think it's a really interesting way to do it. So yeah, I will probably wrap this up for you at the end of the month, but I won't finish it in this vlog. I also didn't get to the new Lauren Groff film, the new Lauren Groff book. Can't remember what it's called. We'll put it here. That I talked about at the beginning, but I mean, I didn't think I was going to anyway. So I'm just going to go now. I'm in my conservatory. I'm going to lie down here and read the rest of The Shape of Darkness, and I will hopefully get back to you with a wrap up before the end of tonight, and hopefully this video will be up on time. I don't know, I've got work tomorrow, so potentially it won't be, but fingers crossed, touch wood, all of that, and I will see you again in a minute.